What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do a Void Linux install. And yes, I know I've done a lot of these on my channel, but I have had quite a few requests lately and a lot of people asking, and you see a lot of people switching away from the whole system debacle. I call it a debacle, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. It's what's going on right now. So I do see a lot of people switching away. I've had a lot of people ask about it. So we're going to run through a complete install of Void Linux from the command line with Btrfs and Encryption. Yes, I do have a video out about this. It's a couple years old now, though, so I figured I would just do an updated version, even though not a whole lot has changed in the process. In fact, I can just still run that same exact script that I had in the video before, or process, excuse me, not script, run through the same process and have a completely up and running Void system perfectly fine. But I figure getting one out that's current might give people a little bit more peace of mind on installing it and, you know, not thinking they're getting something old. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. We're going to go ahead and install Void Linux in a virtual machine from the command line with Btrfs and Encryption. So let's just go ahead and get to it. So first things we're going to do is, first thing I'm going to do is respond to my wife who just texted me. And now we are going to turn the volume down on that because we're trying to make a video here. I could have paused that, but you know, life is life and people like to see life too, right? So anyway, first thing we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and take a look at our system. So like I said, I'm installing this in a VM, so you can see my disk is VDA right at the bottom there, and it's 50 gigs. Now, make sure you pay attention to where you're installing it, whether it's SDA, NVMe, whatever it is. Go ahead and make sure you use the correct disk when you go through this whole thing, because you will run into problems if you have stuff stored elsewhere. It will be gone. So first things first, what we need to do is we need to prepare the device. So we are going to run fdisk, and we're going to say dev, and we're going to do VDA, because again, that is my drive. We're going to hit enter. And we are now in the fdisk utility. First thing we need to do is we need to create a partition table. So we're going to hit G for GPT partition table, or disk label, excuse me. That gives us our GUID and everything. So first things first, now once we've done that, we'll hit N for a new partition, hit enter. We can go ahead and leave the default at 1. We can leave the default first sector alone as well. But then on the second sector or last sector, we're going to hit plus 200 capital M. This is going to give us 200 meg partition, and this will be used for our EFI partition. When we hit enter, we can go ahead and press 1 for type, or excuse me, T for type, and enter, and we're going to select 1 because 1 sets it as an EFI partition. So you can type L if you want to list out all the partitions, but I know the number 1 is the EFI partition. So we're going to hit enter, and there you go. You can see it changed the type of partition Linux file system to EFI file system. Now we're going to go ahead and hit N again. Partition number 2, we can hit enter for default just fine. First sector we can leave as default as well, and last sector we can leave as default because we are going to take up the whole rest of this disk. Now we don't need to do a file type on the, or a partition type on this, so we can just hit W for write. It's going to go ahead and write all that, and now we can clear the screen. And we can run ls blk and hit enter, and you can see it now. We've got VDA, VDA1, and VDA2. So we have 2 partitions. Partition 1, which is going to be our EFI partition, and partition 2 is going to be our main root partition. So now that we have that done, we need to start making, we need to encrypt. So first step we're going to do is we're going to encrypt. So what do we need to do there? Once we've got the drive all partitioned out, we are going to use the crypt setup. So one thing I will note on this is we're going to use Lux 1, same thing as I used on the last one. I hear Lux 2 doesn't have great grub support, so I haven't messed around with it because Lux 1 has worked perfectly fine for me. So we're not going to get into switching over to Lux 2. If you feel more comfortable using Lux 2 or whatever else, you can look into using Lux 2 for this. Or by all means, if you know that Lux 2 works fine with grub now, let me know in the comments because, you know, maybe next time I'll switch over to Lux 2. But for this video, we are going to go ahead and use Lux 1. So what we need to do is we need to run the crypt setup command. So crypt setup, and we're going to say Lux format. So, and then we're going to give it the -- type, and we're going to say Lux 1, and then we're going to say -y, and we're going to do dev VDA, and we're going to give it the second partition because we don't want to encrypt that EFI partition. We want to encrypt the second big partition, the root partition. Excuse me, 1 second. I apologize if my voice starts to do that every so often and I have to either pause or mute. Allergy season is upon us, and well, you know, I've got allergies, so it really sucks. But anyway, so we've got crypt setup, Lux format, type lux1-y, dev VDA2. We're going to go ahead and hit enter. This is going to overwrite all data. So do you want to do it? Yes. We're going to have to type yes in all capital letters and hit enter. Now we need to enter a super secret password that no one will ever crack ever in life. So we're going to go ahead and do that. It's going to take a second and verify that passphrase. Unless I fat fingered it. Nope, we are good to go. So we now have our we now have it encrypted. So what we need to do is we need to open that so we can actually work with it. So we're going to do crypt setup again. If I can type, we're going to do crypt setup open, and we're going to say dev excuse me, dev VDA 2, and we're going to give it a name. I'm just going to call it crypt void. Let me make sure I spelled that correctly. CRYPT VOID. Last thing I need is a typo that's going to give me hell when I'm trying to do this through video. So crypt void. We're going to hit enter. Enter our super secret passphrase we just created. And now we are open and we can work with it. So what we're going to do now is we are going to format the partitions. So first things first, we're going to do mkfs-fat. We'll give it the dash capital F and say 32. We'll give it dash N and we'll say EFI. And we'll say dev VDA1. So we are formatting and setting the file system to FAT32 on our EFI file system. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter. That has created that. Now we're going to do mkfs-btrfs. And we're going to give it the dash L and we'll say void, and we'll say dev mapper crypt void. So mkfs-btrfs-l void. You can name it whatever you want. That's just the label. I'm naming it void, and we're going to open, or we're going to do it to dev mapper crypt void. We're going to hit enter. We've got that all done. If we clear the screen and run lsblk, we can now see that we have VDA1, VDA2, and crypt void underneath it. So first things first, now we're going to create a variable for our mount options. So what we're going to do is we're going to call it bopt for BTRFS options. And we're going to say equals, and we're going to go with no A time. Now you can do RW, but that's the default, so I just kind of leave it out because it automatically does that, and that's just more letters I got to type. But you can do something like RW, comma, no A time, but we're just going to leave no A time, and we're going to say compress equals ZSTD, discard equals async. So now we've got bopt equals no A time, compress ZSTD, and discard is async. So we're going to hit enter. We've got that stored. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mount. We're going to mount -o, and we're going to say bopt. We'll do dev mapper crypt void. And we will do /mnt. So this is going to go ahead and mount that partition in our mount directory, and we're going to hit enter, and we should be good to go. So once we've got that mounted, it's the top level we're going to mount. Now we're going to go ahead and create some subvolumes. So for subvolumes, we do BTRFS, and we're going to do SUCR. So that's subvolume create, and we're going to do /mnt/at. And that's going to give us our root. We're going to hit enter. And now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to do mount at home and hit enter. So that gave us our home subvolume. And then we're going to do erase home and say snapshots and hit enter. So now we've created 3 subvolumes. We have our root, we have home, and we have snapshots. So now we are going to umount/mnt. So we're going to unmount our mount directory, or our mount directory. And now we are going to do mount, and we're going to do -o, and we're going to give it the BTRFS option. So bopt That was a bad name to call it. So we're going to do Btrfs. We're going to give it the space. We'll do subvol equals at, and we'll do dev mapper. I can't type this morning. Crypt void, and we'll do /mnt and hit enter. So now we have mounted that. So we are going to create our mount directories that we want to mount our other subvolumes in. So let's go ahead and do mkdir, and we'll do /mnt and then /, and we'll do a curly brace so we can create this all in one command instead of creating each one individually. So we need an EFI, we need a home, and we need a dot snapshots, so we can keep our snapshots directory as well. So mkdir /mnt / and then in curly braces with the comma separated list, you want to list the different subvolumes you created. So if you created any more outside of the ones I just recommended, the root, home, and snapshots, then you need to add those into this list. We're going to hit enter. We've created all those. So now let's go ahead and mount the rest of our subvolumes. So we're going to do mount -o, and we're going to do Btrfs, and then we're going to do subvol equals at home, and we're going to do dev mapper crypt void, and we're going to do /mnt /home. So that's going to mount our root, or excuse me, our home subvolume in our home directory. So we're going to go ahead and enter. Now we're going to press up, and we're going to do the same. We're going to change this though to snapshots, and we're going to mount that in mount /dot snapshots. So that one is in our root directory, hidden under our dot snapshots. So we're going to hit enter. And then we're going to create some nested volumes for directories that we don't need to include in any snapshots we might create because they just take up too much space, and they're really unnecessary in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to do mkdir, and we're going to give it the -p flag, and we're going to do /mnt /var /cache and hit enter. And then we're going to do cache xbps. So just press the up key to bring up that previous command, the make dir /p mount var cache, and we are going to append the xbps to the end of it and hit enter. And then we're going to use the up key again to bring that command back up, and we're going to scroll back, and we're going to do var temp, so mkdir-p /mount /var /temp, and hit enter. And then if we press up one more time, we're going to do /mount srv, and we're going to hit enter. So now we've created some directories that are not going to be included in snapshots. They're just going to be nested. So now we need to go ahead and mount our EFI partition. So we're going to do mount -o, and we're going to do rw /noatime / and we're going to do /dev, and we're going to do VDA1, and we're going to do it at /mount /EFI. So that mounts our EFI partition, the dev VDA1 or SDA1 if you're on SDA, or NVMe 0N1P1 if you're on an NVMe. So make sure, again, you're using the correct disk. But so we're going to go ahead and mount that there. We're going to hit enter. And now we're going to do df, and we're going to give it the -h. And we're going to check to make sure we got everything there. So we have dev mapper crypt void VDA1. So we've got it mount home, mount snapshots, and EFI. So we are good to go. Let's go ahead and clear the screen. And next we are going to install our base system. So we need to set up a mirror and architecture. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to type repo, and we're going to hit equals, and we'll do https:// and we're going to say, I think this might have changed, but we're going to see. Actually, yeah, give me 1 second here. I want to look at something. Let's see. And there we are. Let me just take a look. I just want to make sure we are... Let's use a different mirror for this install than I did for the last one, because if I recall correctly, the last time I did my install, I had to change my mirror. So let's do HTTPS repo. Let's use the Fastly. So we'll do repo-fastly. And if you want to know where you can find all the different void mirrors, you can go to xmirror.voidlinux.org. And it'll give you a list of all the mirrors, their last sync date or last sync time, and kind of put them in order, tier 1, tier 2, which ones are best. So we're going to do repo-fastly.voidlinux.org. So that's going to be our repo. So https://repofastly.voidlinux.org. We're going to go ahead and hit enter, and we're going to do ARCH for our architecture is going to equal x86_64, and we're going to hit enter. And once we're done with that, we are going to do mkdir. So we're going to copy our package signing keys so that way we have them. So we're going to do mkdir-p, and we're going to do /mnt/var/db/keys. /xbps/keys. I think that's right. Mount var db xbps keys. Mount var db xbps. Yeah, that's right. And hit enter. And then we're going to cp, and we're going to do /var db xbps keys, and we're going to give it the star, and we're going to copy that to /mnt var db xbps keys, and hit enter. So that copied all our keys over, and now we are going to go ahead and install the base system with our Btrfs and our encryption tools. So what we're going to do is we're going to do xbps _arch. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank here. My brain is a little fried. And then we're going to do ARCH xbps -install -s-r, and then repo -r mount, and then we want base system Linux mainline. You can do Linux mainline. You can install the kernel you'd like here. We're going to do Btrfs progs, I believe it is, and crypt setup and vim. So for our base install, we're just going to install some. Let's do this to mainline headers Linux firmware. So anyway, we're going to do the base system, we're going to do Linux mainline, Btrfs progs, crypt setup, vim, Linux mainline headers, and Linux firmware. And we're going to hit enter. I think those are correct. Error, so Fastly. Why are we not? repo-fastly.voidlinux.org, x8664 repo data, failed to fetch. Hold on one second here. All right, what is going on here? Let's see here. Actually, install the repo. Repo is https://void-repo-fastly.voidlinux.org. x8664. Let me see. Okay, let's try this again. So we're going to change that repo. So we're going to make repo equal to https :// repo default. Let's see if this works. .voidlinux.org. Yeah, we're going to try this one. And then we're going to go up, we're going to try this command again. So XBPS architecture is going to equal our x86-64 architecture, and the repo is going to be repo-default.voidlinux.org. And we're going to go ahead and hit enter. And it failed to fetch repo default voidlinux.org x86_64 repo data. Okay, one more time. We're going to go ahead and change change this repo because I think I left out current is what I forgot. And we're going to go ahead and enter, and we're going to try this one more time. And I am sorry about this big, stupid mess. We're going to hit enter, and there we go. Now we are finally syncing. So this will take a minute to go ahead and go through and sync and install. Do you want to continue? We're going to go ahead and hit yes. We want to. It's going to download packages, take a few minutes, but we will be back to you shortly, and we'll continue with this. Again, sorry about that mistake. Okay, and now we are back. The install has finished. After those few little hiccups, I'm sorry about that. It's been a minute since I've actually gone through the install, and I knew something had changed, and I had messed up with something last time, and I obviously didn't catch it. So, sorry about that, but hey, you know, that's how life works sometimes. You don't get it all right on the first shot every time, but as long as you get it right eventually, that's what matters. So let's go ahead and keep moving here. So we are going to go ahead and mount our sudo file system. So let's go ahead and do for dir in dev proc sys run : we say do mount -- rbind /dir /mnt/dir : mount -- make -rslave /mount /dir : done, and hit enter. Oh, and typo, gotta love that. moutn mount. Okay, there we go. Now let's clear the screen again so we're not so cluttered, and hit enter. And now that we've got that done, we are going to go ahead and copy our DNS config. So let's do cp, and we're going to do etc resolve.conf, and we're going to copy that to /mount/etc and hit enter. ls /mount/etc. Make sure it's there. Resolve.conf. We are good to go. So let's clear the screen again. So now that we've got that copied over, we're going to do bopt equals, and we're going to change this a little bit. So we're going to do no a time. We're going to do compress equals zstd. We're going to say discard equals a sync again. And we'll say ps1, and we're going to say equals chroot. Let's put that in parentheses. Chroot, and we'll do space. We'll give it the #, hashtag, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you youngins call it now. We'll do chroot, and do /mnt, and we'll do /bin/bash. And hit enter. Now we are in chroot, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to go ahead and configure the system. Everything from here we're going to do inside of this chroot environment. So first things first, we need to set up the time zone. So we're going to do ls, and then we'll do /user share, and it is zone info. Yeah, I think so. Let's just do zone info. Okay, so there we got all the list of everywhere you can put. So we are going to actually do ln-sf, and we're going to do the user share zone info, and I am in America, and we'll just do Chicago because that's the closest to me. I'm not in Chicago, obviously. I've said this a million times, but I'm just going to say it again. We'll say etc, and we'll do local time. So now we have copied our zone information to etc local time. We're going to hit enter. Now we're going to edit our locale file. So we are going to vim, because we installed that on our base install, and we're going to do etc, and we're going to say default and libc locales, and hit enter. And we are going to search for en_us, and there we are right there. We've got UTF-8, and so we're going to go insert, and we're going to uncomment those, and we're going to write and quit. That's for English, UTS, or English, and hit enter. You're going to go ahead and pick whichever one, wherever you are. You're going to go ahead and change your locale to that. So we are going to now do xbps. Actually, let's clear the screen. and we're going to do xbps-reconfigure, and we're going to do -f glibc locales, and hit enter. Now it's going to go ahead and generate the locales for us. Good and done. Configured successfully. And next step is we are going to create our host name. So we are going to echo, and we're going to create a unique host name. So you can create whatever host name you want to. We're just going to do void VM as our host name. And we're going to go ahead and put that into /etc host name and hit enter. And now if we cat /etc host name and hit enter, you can see we've got void VM as our host name. So next thing we need to do is we need to, we've sent our host name, so we need to create our host file. So if we want to go ahead and have internet and everything and want to have a local host and all that, we need to set up our etc/host. So what we're going to do is we're going to say cat, and we're going to go with EOF, and then etc hosts, and hit enter. And we're going to do 127.0.0.1 localhost, and then we're going to do ::1 localhost and hit enter, and we're going to do 127.0.1.1 equals void VM local domain space void VM. So this is what's going to be inside your /etc/hosts. We're going to hit enter, and we're going to do EOF and hit enter. Now if we cat etc hosts, you can see we've got our local hosts all set up. So first thing, definitely not the first thing. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up our password. So we're going to say PASSWD and hit enter, and our new super secret uncrackable password. You can make it the same as your Lux password if you want. You can make it different than your Lux password. Just go ahead and set up a password. Now we're going to create a regular user. So we're going to do user add, and we're going to give it a username. Of course, I am Jake. I can't even spell my own name. So we're going to hit Jake. We're going to hit enter. We're going to say password Jake and hit enter. We're going to do a new super secret password. That's definitely not the same as my root password, correct? And then we're going to do usermod -ag, and we're going to add the user to whatever groups we want. So wheel, disk, network, video, audio, whatever groups you want your user to be a part of. You can add them later on if you want or whatever. But so right now we'll just do wheel, disk, network, video, audio, and then your username. We're going to go ahead and hit enter. So now we've been added to those groups. And now we are going to set our editor, and we are going to edit our sudoers file. So we are going to do editor equals vim by sudo and hit enter. And now we're going to find wheel, and so there we have the wheel uncomment to allow members of the wheel group to execute any command. Yes, we want that. So we're going to go to insert mode. Now there's something else you can do here. A lot of people tell me you don't have to do this. Some people tell me, yeah, it's better to do this. I don't care one way or the other what you do or what you don't do, but I always do it. So we're going to do Jake all equals, and then all : all. So I give myself as the user permission to do everything. Some people don't like that. Some people do. That's up to you. That's your preference. So that step right there, you can copy or not copy. Just change Jake to your username if you do. We're going to write and quit. Let's clear the screen. So now we've got our sudoers file set up. So what we're going to do now is we are going to enable all the repositories. So we're going to do xbps-install-s. So we're syncing, and once we're done syncing, we're going to go ahead and add the non-free repo and multi-lib repo and go from there. So what we're going to do now is we are going to do xbps-install and void repo non-free void repo multilib and hit enter. And this is going to install these two repos. You don't have to do this. You can if you want. And then we are going to run xbps-install-s to sync those repos as well. And once that's done, we are going to go ahead and create our FS tab or fstab, whatever you want to call it. So what we're going to do now, is we're going to cat, and we're going to put this into /etc fs tab. We're going to hit enter and we'll say UUID equals root UUID slash, I gotta create the variables first, Jake. You're getting a little bit ahead of yourself. So what we need to do is we need to create our UUID variables. So we're gonna do EFI underscore UUID. Let's clear the screen first. I get so close to the bottom of the screen that you guys should just yell at me. So we're gonna do EFI underscore UUID equals, and we're gonna give it the BLKID -s, and we're going to say UUID-O value and then dev VDA1. So that's going to give us the UUID of dev VDA1, which is our EFI partition, which is why we want the EFI UUID. So we're going to hit enter. Then we're going to say root underscore UUID equals BLKID -s UUID -O value dev mapper. Remember, because now we're doing our encrypted partition, and we're going to say crypt void. And close that, and we're going to hit enter. And then we are going to do lux, not licks, lux UUID equals block ID -s UUID -O value, and now we're going to give it the dev VDA2. So hit enter. So now we've got our EFI UUID, our root UUID, and our lux UUID. So once we call those variables, it's going to actually run that command that they're calling, and it will get us the UUID partition, or the UUID for the different partitions, so we can put them in our FS tab. So let's go ahead and cat EOF etc FS tab. There we go. Holy cow. And now we're going to say UUID equals, we're going to say $root underscore UUID, and we're going to give it the /Btrfs, and we're going to say Btrfs, and subvol equals @ and then we're going to do 0 space 1 and hit enter, and we'll say UUID equals, and then we'll say root underscore ID UUID. We're going to say /home, and we're going to say Btrfs, and then we'll do Btrfs, subvol equals @home, and we're going to give it 0 2, and then we're going to go UUID equals, and we'll do $root underscore UUID /snapshots, because remember we created that .snapshots directory, and that is Btrfs, and we'll do Btrfs, and then we'll say subvol equals @snapshots, and we'll do 0 2 and hit enter, and then we're going to do UUID equals EFI underscore UUID, and we are going to do /t, or going to do /EFI VFAT. Sorry, I got a little head on my notes there. Default. It's funny, I can sit here and do this on my own, installing my own system without following any notes or anything like that. But as soon as I try to walk through it for people and explain as I'm going, my brain fries. So it's funny, doing it on my own and just hammering through the commands, I can do this no problem. Creating a video to help you people walk through it, I have to have my notes up, and so it's just weird. I'm not used to glancing over at notes, and so I apologize for any fumbling through anything. So we're going to do no A time, and we're going to do 0, 2, and hit enter, and we're going to do TMPFS, and we're going to do /TMP, and we're going to do TMPFS. We're going to say defaults, no SUID, and SUID. There we go. No SUID. Didn't think that looked right. No dev. And then we'll do 0, 0. And hit enter. And then we'll do EOF. And there we go. So now if we cat etcfs tab, you can see we have our UUIDs listed in there. We've got tempfs, and we are good to go. So let's clear the screen. And now we are going to install grub. So we are going to do a xbps -install, and we're going to do grub -x86_64. But since we're on an EFI system, we want to do -EFI and hit enter. Yes, we want to go ahead and install it. So we're going to let that run through here real quick, and that's installed. So let's clear the screen. This whole time I've been typing clear. Well, we're in bash, so I can do Control L to clear the screen as well. It's just habit to type clear, so I'm sorry. So now that we've got that installed, we're going to enable encryption support. So we're going to echo, and we're going to say grub _enable _underscore CRYPTODISK. Sorry, I sometimes have to spell things out loud to myself. Equals Y, and then we're going to do etc default grub. So echo grub enable crypto disk equals Y, and we are going to append that to our etc default grub, and we're going to hit enter. And now we're going to vim into etc default grub and hit enter. So once we're in there, we need to find the grub command line Linux default line, and we're going to update it. So grub command line Linux default, you can see right here we've got log level equals 4. So we're going to add on to that line. So we're going to go into insert mode, we're going to add a space, and we're going to do rd.auto equals 1, and we're going to do rd.luks.allow, not slash, .allow slash dis or space discards. There we go. Okay, not space dash. Wait. See, fumbling through like crazy. So log level equals 4, rd.auto equals 1, rdlux.allow dash discards. So once we've got that added in, we can go ahead and write and quit. Clear the screen again to get us back up to the top. And we're going to do grub dash install, and we're going to do dash dash target equals x86 underscore 64 dash EFI. And then we'll do dash dash EFI directory equals slash EFI. And then we'll do dash dash bootloader dash ID equals void. So grub install dash dash target equals x86 underscore 64 dash EFI dash dash EFI directory equals slash EFI, and dash dash bootloader dash ID equals void. We're going to go ahead and hit enter. That's going to go ahead and install, and if we get a no issues, we will be able to move on. So installation finished, no error reported. That is what we want to see. So now we are going to do grub dash make config dash o slash boot slash grub dot cfg and hit enter. Now I went ahead and configured our grub configuration file. Excuse me one second. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so now we've done grub make config-o boot grub cfg to generate our grub config file. Now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and set up a key file. This is optional, but it is definitely recommended. This lets you avoid typing your password twice when you boot up. So we're going to go ahead and create a key file from random data. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a dd bs equals 515. We're going to say count equals 4. We're going to say if equals dev urandom. And then we'll say of equals slash boot slash key file dot bin. Boot, yeah. So input file is going to do dev urandom. So it's, like I said, it's basically going to create a key file from random data. Holy crap, my brain is fried already. And it is going to store it in boot keyfile.bin. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to hit enter. So we've got that done. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add it as a second key for the encrypted volume. So we're going to do crypt setup. So crypt setup. We're going to do -v or lux, not add, lux add key. And we'll do dev VDA2 because that's our root directory, and we'll do /boot /keyfile.bin. So we're going to do crypt setup -v lux add key dev and SDA2 VDA2 whatever your root partition is, and then /boot keyfile.bin. So we're going to hit enter any existing passphrase. So now we've unlocked the key slot, and key slot 1 created. Command is successful. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do chmod, and we're going to do 000, and we're going to do /boot /keyfile.bin, and hit enter, and we're going to do chmod or chmode, as some people will say, g dash rwx comma o dash rwx, yeah, /boot. So this is going to secure your key file. So go ahead and hit enter. And next we are going to create crypt tab. This is going to tell the system to use the key file. So we are going to say cat. I'm going to do eof etc crypt tab. I'm going to enter, and we're going to say crypt void. So that's the name of our encrypted partition, crypt void. UUID equals, and remember we created the lux UUID variable earlier, so we're going to do lux underscore UUID. We're going to do /boot /keyfile.bin, and we're going to do lux. And then we're going to hit enter, and we're going to do EOF. So we're going to cat, and we're going to do here doc, and we're going to do etc crypt tab, and we're going to add the crypt void and the UUID for the lux UUID, and then boot /keyfile.bin. And we're going to hit enter. And we're almost done, folks. Thank you for sticking out with me. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to configure drawcut to include the key file in the basically initial RAM disk. So what we're going to do is we're going to say echo, and we're going to do install underscore items. Then we'll do plus equals. And then we'll do space /boot /keyfile.bin. And then we'll do space etc crypt tab space, and then we're going to do etc drawcut.conf.d, and then we'll do 10-crypt.conf. So we're going to echo that into etc drawcut.conf.d 10-crypt.conf. And we're going to go ahead and hit enter. So now that we've got that done, our final setup here, we are going to go ahead and LN. We're going to enable our DHCP for wired connection if you got it. So we'll do -S. Well, we don't really need to do that on here, but let's actually install. Well, yeah, I'm on a VM, so I guess it's gonna. So we're gonna do. I'm so used to installing on hardware. -S, and we'll do /etc sv dhc pcd, and we'll do that to var service. Now here is where, if you were working on Wi-Fi, if you weren't in a VM, you'd want to install like Network Manager or something along those lines using xbps install Network Manager, and then you'd want to link Network Manager to your var/service if you were using Wi-Fi. If you're a wired connection, you're going to want to have the dhcpcd, just like we did here. We're going to go ahead and hit enter, and then we are going to do xbps-reconfigure, and we'll do -fa and hit enter. It's going to go ahead and reconfigure this. And at that point, we should be done and ready to exit and reboot. So let's just go ahead and see what happens here. And once this is done, and we will see if we were successful or if this whole video was a waste of time. Golly, with the amount of times I've installed Void Linux, I'll hope this is successful. But like I said, doing it myself, just hammering out the commands as opposed to writing it out and doing it for you guys and explaining everything I'm doing. And that's not pointing blame at you guys by any means, but somehow I just get a little tongue-tied and fumble over my words, and I can't type for squat. But yeah, so hopefully this works and I don't look like a complete fool. But well, I've got you guys here and everything's going. Oh, no, we're done. So I won't spoil what I was going to spoil for you because that'll be in my next video. But let's go ahead and clear the screen. Let's go ahead and exit. And let's reboot and hit enter, and fingers crossed that this works, because otherwise I just wasted a good 2 hours of the day. Enter passphrase. So attempting to decrypt. Fingers crossed. If it says slot 0 open, I am going to jump up and down and be super happy, and things are going to be, ooh, slot opened. We're going to hit enter. And we are going to boot in, and what do we get? It's going to take a second, and starting, let's see here. Cannot continue due to errors above. Unknown parameter default. Let's see here. No, let's see here. Welcome to Void, mounting pseudo file system, remounting rootfs read only. Scanning Btrf, registered to master encrypt void, activating encrypted devices, already exists. Checking file systems, FSCK, mounting rootfs read write, mounting all non-network, mount EFI, failed, VFAT, unknown parameter default. We have more information. I can't believe I just ruined this whole darn install video. Okay. Well. We're going to exit. Oh, well, there we go. I'll have to change some issues here, but let's see if we can at least log in. Oh, we're logged in. What do we got changed here? What do we got to do? Let's see here. We actually got it up and going, so let's go ahead and cat our FS tab, because I think we might have an issue in there. Let's see here. What do we got going on? So I think, let's see. You'll probably catch this a lot quicker than I will. But, oh, I see it. I see it. So let's go ahead and sudo vim etc FS tab. Right there. It's supposed to be defaults, plural. So we're going to do S. We're going to escape. We're going to write and quit. Now let's reboot that. And we're going to see what happens now. Maybe we will get lucky, and that was my only issue. So let's decrypt and go from there. So again, I apologize about that if you followed along and got that same error, because I typoed and yeah, didn't fix that, then I apologize. But hey, at least we figured it out. Hopefully, fingers crossed. And there we go. Okay, so that took care of it. So look at that. We have our void system all set up. We have a working void, very base TTY install with encryption, with Btrfs and subvolumes. So if we run lsblk, you can see we've got dev VDA1, VDA2, and crypt void with snapshots and home. So we've got everything all set up. Again, sorry about the hiccups, but sometimes that's just the way things go. But yeah, since it took so long on this one, I'm not going to be able to sit down and continue on here with the installing Nuri and or an actual user space. But hopefully within the next few days I can get that out and you guys can get Void up and going on your system. But by all means, play around with that to begin with. You can install GNOME or Cinnamon or any of the other desktops, XFCE, simply by running the command XFCE or sudo xbps-install and then said environment if you want to actually get it up and going so it's usable. In fact, you can install any desktop environment you want and then follow my next video to install Nuri if you'd like. And so we'll get that set up next time. And so that way you can have a super cool setup just like I've got, because you know what? I've got the greatest setup ever made and you all know it and you guys are just scared to say it. But no, that's not the case, I know. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week. Follow me for more stuff. I got some stuff coming up that hopefully will knock your socks off. Yeah, no, I doubt it. But anyway, I've got some more videos coming out now that I'm done with school. I want to be able to do this a little more frequently, keep up with you guys. And remember, you can find stuff like this on my merch shop. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel linked in the bottom. Shameless plug there. I do have some other stuff going on too that you can help support the channel through. Again, I hate asking for money and support. You guys watching and everything is great, and I appreciate it, and that's all I expect from anybody. But if anybody feels so led, support is greatly appreciated. I've got Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, YouTube memberships, or like I said, just like, share, get my videos out, do what you need to do. But again, this has been a Void install from TTY, kind of sloppily done, but we've got it done. We've got Void up and going, and yeah, good times. So hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week. Stay safe, and God bless.